You're listening to the Deep Dive Dealcast, the show that dissects every layer of real estate, from the dirt under the deal to the numbers behind the contract. With over 50 years of combined experience, your hosts bring you the truth behind the market shifts, the anatomy of good deals, and the landmines to avoid. Grab your notebook, you're in the right place.
Hello and welcome back. As always, I'm Shay McGee, and with me is my great friend Judy Fordon. We wanted to talk to you a little bit. Last week we went over, actually, it was 2 weeks ago, we went over how we would help buyers, first-time buyers specifically, get the ball started. And when we did that, we wanted to dig a little bit deeper and put one out that is more the do's and don'ts of first-time home purchases.
Yes.
As there's a lot of times where things that seem really trivial and small can really bite you right in the butt. So we're going to dig in a little bit more about do's and don'ts. So Judy, get us started off. Where do you start on your do's and don'ts?
Well, I have a list that I give clients because it's important. We don't think about the things that we do on a daily basis and how it's going to affect. So I give this list, but then I go over this list with them as well. And the first one that is on the list is just keeping everything paid. And that seems simple, right? And we would do that normally as humans, but a lot of us have things on auto pay. So this is where I tell people, check to make sure that all of your auto pays are current, all of your debit or credit cards, you have the proper, there's no expirations, there's, everything is in line. And this is the time to check, double check, because if there's a late payment, that's going to affect your ability possibly to move forward in the loan. This actually happened to me years ago. I had the listing, and the buyers that were buying the listing, they were very marginal buyers, and they missed a $30 gym payment because it was on auto pay, and their debit card got compromised, and just things happen, right? So that was the one thing that they forgot was on auto pay, and we almost lost the deal over a $30 late pay because they were that marginal. So it's just really one of those that you want to make sure. Did you have a compromise to any of your cards? Are your cards expiring? Is there any change in your bank accounts? Just make sure that everything that you have is being paid, as well as if you're in contract to purchase already, or on the listing side even, let's make sure that we're not skipping any payments like that would be affected and paid off through the closing. So, right, we don't want to stop any payments until after the closing, and then you can either get refunds, do things like that.
Right. And I think that's a really good idea because a lot of times you set something up and it's been years. You're not thinking about it anymore. So getting a really good, snapshot of where you are now, going along with your budget and what's coming out, what's auto paying, when is my car insurance due again, things like
Right.
that, just to make sure that there's no fairly easy to avoid pitfalls coming up will help relieve stress and be able to move forward faster. So that's a really, really good one. Understand, your finances right now, where your auto pays, everything like that, subscriptions. Again, I use insurance as that's usually a fairly bigger one than your Hulu
Right.
bill or whatever.
Yeah.
So just paying attention to that, making sure there's no surprises. And I mean, with that, of course, step back just a little bit, absolutely get your pre-approval through a good lender that's going to get you taken care of, one that you know and trust, one that you can hold accountable
Right.
and talk to someone, not be on hold for, some associate for 2 hours when you really need something. Having that true partner in lending is very important as well.
Very important. Yep. Yeah. So that's all those do's of the beginning part that I think we discussed a week or two ago is,
Yeah.
making sure that you're agent is on board, you have the right team, you're having those discussions and things are in place.
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay. Do you want to give us one of your dues? Because I have a whole list, but give us one of your dues. It doesn't even have to be about finances. Do you have something that one of the things that you discuss?
The other one, it does have to do with financing, but it's very important. Do take the time to look into city, state, or even federal grants. If you're a first-time buyer, there are a lot of grants available on a city scale, on a state scale, some even federally. And sometimes this is money that's given to you and there's no payback to it. It is a full grant. You can go and move forward with it. It doesn't take that long to check with us as the agent or your lender, as well as look it up online in, the city that you're looking at buying in, because some of those are upwards of 15,000, $25,000, and that can
Right.
certainly help. So that's a big do for me, just because most people don't think to check it.
That's right. Yeah, and it changes all the time.
Mhm.
That's a great one. I'm going to add that to my list. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, one of the dues that I have on my list is as you're working through here through the process of buying and you have questions, remember your team is there for you. So ask the question. Don't wait because it could be something that we need to know as your agent that we don't know it's a question or it could bring up other things. So any questions for us, any questions for your lender, any questions for anybody that is part of your deal, make sure that those questions are coming to the forefront and you're asking them. Don't feel afraid to bother us. You're not bothering us. That's our job.
Exactly right. Remember that you're the boss.
Right.
Everybody working is working as advisors for you. And the question, anything from the monumental to the mundane, ask it. If we know it right off the bat, that's really good for my ego personally, because I can answer it real quick and I am really good at my job and that makes me feel real good. However, I am never above I'll never give you the quick answer over the right answer. I'll tell you flat out, Judy, that is one heck of a question.
I haven't had
I'm
that
going to look
before.
into it and
Yeah,
research it. I'll get you the right answer so we can move forward with confidence.
totally.
Absolutely.
Yep. Very good. All right. What else?
The next one that I like is drive the neighborhood at different times. If you looked at the house
Yes.
and you fell in love with it during the day, take a look at it in the evening. Make sure it's not a drag strip. Something like that. Make sure that it's what it needs to be. If you are looking to join a local organization there, you may want to go and attend and see how that organization, how you fit in, how you like that. Um, just take a good look around on a personal level at the neighborhood. Make sure that it is at all times what you're really looking to be, because once you buy and close, it's a little bit harder to change that.
Yep. It's such a great idea because you think about it, when we go show properties, it's usually in the middle of the day
Mhm.
when it's quiet. So you want to go on the weekend. You want to go on the weekend, maybe at 8 o'clock, see what's happening in the neighborhood. You want to go on a Saturday. Are there, if you're looking for a neighborhood with kids, then are there kids out there? Or if you don't want kids, I mean, whatever it might be,
Right.
right? But yes, go there at different days, different times. So important.
I think
I
it's
love
just a
that.
more fun way to go about it as a home buyer as well, because you get to kind of get a sneak peek of your neighborhood. I just think that's kind of fun.
That too. Yeah, for sure. Great. I'm leaning towards the lending, and so the next one that I'm
Okay.
going to go on is there are going to be deadlines, and some of the deadlines are going to be very, very important, especially about when money is needing to get in, like your earnest money. So make sure if your lender, your agent is telling you that there's a deadline for money or due diligence, that those dates, you know what they are, and that your agent is keeping you on track, and get that money over to the lender or to your agent as quick as possible.
Mhm. I put it in all my clients' calendars, because we live by the dates, we die by the dates. In
Yes.
26 years, I've lost earnest money for a client once, and it's because of a continued lie from a lender. We won't get into that. But other than that, we live by the dates, we die by the dates, and that makes sure that you are protected in the buyer due diligence, in the financing and appraisal, so that you know what the house is and what it's going to look like moving forward. So by the time those dates are over, there's no reason to not be truly confident in the home and feel really good about what you're doing.
Right. And again, it should be it's the agent's job and the lender's job to make sure you're on track. But again,
Mhm.
as a buyer, you want to make sure that when you're given those dates that you're doing what you're supposed to in a timely fashion.
Right.
Yep.
The next one that I would bring up is do make sure to think about this home in terms of 5 to 10 years. Okay. Think about how you're going to, most people stay in their house for 5 to 8 years on average. It might be a little shorter now. It seems like it's shortening
Agree.
a
I
little bit
know.
and people are moving faster. But what I mean by that is when you're looking through a home and you love it, make sure, I get that you love it right now. Make sure that you're going to love it for that amount of time because if the kitchen's a little too small or something that's really going to bother you,
Right.
okay? Think about that because it's going to be a couple years. Now, on the other side of that coin, don't think, oh, I've got to have the perfect house right now. And we've touched on this before. Get a home that's going to work as an investment and move your life forward, with your long-term wealth, but make sure that there's nothing in that home that's just going to bug you after 2 months and make you crazy for the next 2 years to 8 years or whatever the case may be.
Great advice for sure. Yeah, because we sometimes look at the list like we talked about, what's the most important, what are the top
Mhm.
things, and in our excitement, we will try to grab something, or if it's taking longer than we should and we settle for something. So just know as your agent, we don't want you settling. We want you to get the best you can get at the moment of where you're sitting in the market.
Exactly right.
Yeah, good. All right, the other do that I have is just be sure to return phone calls because if your agent or your lender is
Please.
calling you, it means we need you. We try not to bother you. I give weekly updates so my clients know that I'm going to talk to them on Fridays. But if I call you on a Tuesday, that means I need something from you, or I have a question for you, or the lender know that we're not making a lot of phone calls unless we need them. So it's really, again, time wise, going to be very important to get back with us.
I was reading that the average real estate transaction requires 176 phone calls, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But leaning into that, if we're calling you other than the time that we said we're going to touch base, there is a reason because we're
Yep.
on the phone and emailing and texting all day on your behalf.
Yep.
We're probably not chit-chatting during the middle of a deal. We'll chit chat with you,
Right.
but probably not during the middle of a deal. We're trying to get something done to make sure because every deal has some hiccup at some
Yep.
point. The
Yep.
sooner we get to it, the sooner we address it, the sooner we're moving forward, the smoother the path is to settlement. So
Yep.
yes, please answer our calls just like we tell you, please ask the questions. That communication is key both ways.
Huge. And I know a lot of people right now are preferring texting. There's some things with our transactions that we just have to speak with you ear to ear because it's more detail than, frankly, than I want to type in a text.
And there's a lot of nuance in a text message that
Right.
things can get lost. I mean, we'll text you for sure because we're busy. We know you're busy, but
Right.
sometimes it's a, hey, I need
If
to
we're
lend your
calling.
ear for like 5 minutes. I'm running out of do's. I'm
Me
about ready to
too.
jump into the don'ts and get on the negative, like finger
Yep.
wagging side of
Yep.
things.
Let's do it.
Okay. My first one right off the bat. You don't finance a Snickers bar. That's just it.
I love
Okay.
it.
Other than what your normal everyday living is, do not finance a darned thing. There are times where your life throws you a curveball in the middle of a transaction and you may have to. If that's the case, let's talk and let's talk to the lender. Let's all make sure that we are on the same page. I have never lost a deal from this, but I know of a number of agents, Judy and I both do, that have lost, people have lost their home over financing a car. I know one that lost their home over financing a fridge for that house.
That's right.
We're not financing anything.
Nothing. Not on your
The
current
moment
credit
it's
cards,
funded
not
and
new.
recorded and done, you do you because we got your house to live in. Let's not jeopardize that.
Right. And especially as first-time home buyers, this is so important. I'm actually closing on one next week with a gal that is buying a new build. And she needs a fridge, she needs a washer and a dryer. And we talked about, I gave her the do's and don't list. So she's ready to buy her fridge and her washer and dryer. So we got on the phone with the lender and said, okay, she wants to do this. Does she have the ability to put this on a credit card? And the lender said, not a new one, but you can put it on your current one. But we got permission. So
Right.
it's just I think I scare people with this because again, as new home
Good.
buyers, you might need all of that. You might need
Mhm.
furniture. Let's not go to RC Willie's here in Utah, in Nevada, and get our whole household. I mean, you can get some really great deals,
Hey,
but
here's a don't. Don't sleep on the DI and savers. There's a lot of great stuff there.
exactly. So, as much as we want to be ready the day of closing, that might be something you do the week of after closing.
Yep.
And then you can go and get as much of that free interest, all the things that you can get. Go ahead and do that after, not before. Huge.
Absolutely. What's a don't that you have?
One of the don'ts I have, I know this sounds really crazy, but don't quit your job.
Huh? Yeah, don't do that. Sorry, that was almost an involuntary groan. I was like, oh no, don't do that.
Right? We might be in a job where we're angry and we're just thinking we're going to quit. Now, you can change jobs if you're changing jobs and it's a like for a like, you're an accountant and you're going from one CPA firm to another CPA firm, or
Still
again,
talk to us first.
talk to the lender. Yes,
Because it can
what
cause a
qualifies?
problem, but if you're
It
doing
can
that, it
cause a
might not
problem.
be as much of a problem. But again, with that communication, if everyone knows what's going on, we
Correct.
can plan accordingly and get you where you need to be.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, or I guess it was 3 weeks ago, I'm at an inspection and my buyers come in and the wife had gotten laid off.
Oh,
So good news is she's a nurse. She was able to, and they could have, we had some other, so we knew right away, don't hide these things,
yeah.
right? So we were only a week into the deal, talked to the lender. The lender was able to do everything just with the husband, was going to cost them more in interest rate. Wife got a job before closing, we could switch back to the original loan and everything was fine. Some things happen. You can't stop a layoff. That's
Life
not in
still
your,
happens.
it
Just let
happens.
us know
Yeah,
because, like we said, every deal has some hiccup.
right.
Losing your job, that's a bigger hiccup. But if everybody's on the same page, it's not a death sentence. Like
No,
there's things that we can do to work
right,
it out. Not always, but
right.
there, a lot of times there's ways that we can do and keep you in good shape.
Right, because if she hadn't been able to get into another position of the same before closing, at least because we knew ahead of time, they still could buy their home, which they wanted to do. It would have cost them a little bit more. Had they waited because they were afraid to tell us or embarrassed to tell us, guys, have seen it all. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be. The more we know, the quicker we know it, we can either get you out of the deal because maybe you need it back out of the deal and that's the safest for you, or we can figure out how to keep you in the deal if that's safe. So, yeah,
Right.
fun things.
That's a really good one. The next don't that I have is don't skip the inspection. Get an inspection, get a good inspection. There are different inspectors out there, just like
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. The cheapest does not always, nor does normally, end up being the best. I'm
Right.
not saying find the best, like the most expensive inspector. ask us. We're happy to give you referrals, but some inspectors just have a better, attention to detail,
Right.
and there's no single better attribute for an inspector. Don't skip it, just don't. Even new construction, you can get an inspector to represent
You
you
should.
and look into it. So, I mean, it's ultimately up to you, but it's still in your best interest to have everything at your fingertips, having people work for you, looking
Yes.
at that home and making sure that it's not a long-term problem.
Yes. Just like that, the young gal that I said just bought a new construction.
Mhm.
The I hadn't seen this before, but and maybe it's just because I haven't done new construction in a while, but the EMD, they wanted the EMDB to be non-refundable immediately.
Yeah,
And I
there's a
said,
lot of that going around.
yeah, no. So I had to negotiate that and say, look, we're doing an inspection, we're doing the due diligence. We're not moving forward unless we have this EMD refundable with 10 days. They ended up giving us 14 days because I was like, no, no, I'm not comfortable with
Let's do
that.
another whole nother topic
It
on
is.
new construction because a lot of people don't know that you can negotiate. They figure it's like, this is what it is, take it or leave it. And
No,
it's
that's why you
really
need an agent.
not. We'll do another deal. We'll do a
Okay.
whole nother podcast on that
Okay.
because that'll take a whole nother thing because there's a lot to know there.
For
But
sure.
that's a great idea.
Yep.
What's the next don't that you have?
Um, don't co-sign for anything. You might have children and they're looking to buy a car or they're looking, and you might not think it matters.
Mhm.
Co-signing affects your debt to income ratio.
For
Don't
up to
do it.
30-year loan.
Don't do it.
Right. Yep. Because if anything happens, you might trust that person, you might love that person, and whether it's intentional or unintentional, things might happen. Like we talked about life happening,
Yep.
and you're stuck with it. If they end up in a bad place, God forbid they pass away, anything like that, you're the next call and you're the person that is liable for that.
Yes.
So be very, very careful. Like Judy says, just don't. But if you do, be very, very careful and make sure to protect your interest if you can. But it's better to just not. Just walk away from that one.
Just don't. Yeah. I mean, your choice if you want to do it after, but especially right now, this is not the time to to be kind to others.
Yeah.
We have to get you through your loan.
Yep. The next thing that I would say is don't spend your very last dollars, your life preserver, last $1,000 on your earnest money deposit. Okay. It's important because again, life happens. Put together money for your earnest money deposit and your inspection and things like that.
Mm,
If you're draining every penny that you have, there's a chance it could not bite you in the butt, but not a good one. That's a very risky thing. Owning a home is going to take some hard work, some effort, and some dedication. We
right.
can make it fun, we can make it work, we can make it very profitable for you, but it's going to take some
Yes,
work. Don't kill every penny of your rainy day fund to get into a home. That's setting you up for disaster.
for
Having
sure.
that security of that rainy day fund, even during the 30 to 45 days in settlement, you may need that for something else.
For something.
Be careful. Keep that security in place.
That's for sure. Yeah. And talk to your agent about it. If if they're asking you to put a lot down because it's good for negotiating, but it really is going to make you guys tight. You want to, that's, no, I'm going to write that one down. I like
I've
that.
seen that a couple times, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's been, I mean, fellas, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Yep. One of the last ones I have is, it's a don't, but I'm seeing a lot right now with, have a couple young buyers and they're getting gift money. So one of the things is don't just get that money. Don't just get that money from your family or, whoever's giving it to you. Make sure you know how to receive that money so that it works with the lender, because there's ways to receive a gift and not receive a gift that will allow you to be
To utilize
lendable.
that for the contract.
Exactly.
And a lot of this might go over some first time home buyers, but there's a term that you will hear called seasoned funds. Okay. Talk to us, talk to the lender. We'll walk you through it all. But if, Uncle Johnny just hands you 10 grand, that might be more of a problem than not. And there are times where you can't use that money. And it's a
Right.
whole rigmarole of going about it.
Right.
If you're going to receive a gift, let's talk about it. There's nothing wrong with a receiving gift. It's
No,
not
it's beautiful.
shady or shifty or anything like that. Let us know we can do it the right way so that you can utilize those funds for your settlement.
Yeah, so maybe the don't of that is don't withhold information of where the money is coming for your deposit. So if it's
Right.
coming from a gift, let your agent know, let your lender know so that we can make sure that it's done properly. So the beautifulness of that gift can actually go through because I think it's a great thing.
Okay. I've got one last very important one.
All right, tell me.
And this one should come with like an asterisk and exclamation points and
Hi.
bold red lettering. Do not make verbal agreements with the other party. This is going to land you in court. It's going to land your agent in trouble. It's going to be a big old problem. It doesn't matter what the agreement is. It's fine that there's an agreement, okay? But it needs to go in writing. No verbal agreements. They have to go into writing, be
That's
part of
right.
the contract, be in front of everybody that looks at it. This is probably the biggest don't do it of my list. There's a lot, but this is a big one because this one can cost you the house, but can land you in court and
Yes.
have a whole lot of big legal type problems.
Yeah, there's no more gentlemen's agreements. We don't handshake on things. That's just it. It's just, could it work? It could, but most of the time it can just be a problem.
The risk involved is just not worth it. It could work, but you open yourself to so much unmitigated risk. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yep.
That's my biggest finger wag, don't do it, damn it, that I've got, because that one will be problems.
But now I have to add to my list. I love it.
Look
Thanks
at
for
that.
sharing.
Comprehensive lists.
Yep. Yep.
I think
And
this
and
was a really good one. I can't think of anything off the top that I have that we really didn't cover. I mean, there's a bunch of these, but those are some really good ones that we went over.
they're the ones that really affect. I mean, there's other things that might be more on a emotional thing that we
Mhm.
could talk about, but this is really what would affect you getting to the closing table.
Yeah,
And we don't want to scare you with it. It's just they're very simple things that people who don't buy all the time, you don't even think about it. So
right. Yeah, I think this is a good list. If you can think of anything that we don't have on here that we really should, by all means, let us know, put it in the comments, send it to us. Um, we're going to keep doing these weekly. We didn't last week because our schedules are both crazy, but
thankfully, yep.
exactly right. If you want a good agent, you're going to have to work with a busy agent. That's just the way it
That's right.
works. But if you know of anybody that this can help, please send this out to them. If you have any questions, like I said, send it over, and we will be happy to do a podcast on your questions. But I think next week or one of the weeks here soon, we'll do that new construction one because that's a big one and
Yes.
that one's fun.
Yep.
So, as always, I'm Shay McGee with the Shamrock Group and EXP Realty. And Judy, I forget every time.
I am
It's,
Judy Fordon. I know you don't forget that, but
I'll forget that.
I'm with the Trav CRE team at Real Estate Essentials.
It's the Trav CRE. I will get it, I promise.
Trav CRE. It's hard to say even. Yep.
And they're a bunch of good people. I like them. I've been over there a bunch of times meeting with those guys. They've been great.
That's the
But
other good thing is, you have to have agents that are willing to work with other agents. It's just you're like we should feel like we're coworkers, It's really it's a thing.
And the best deals always end up being that way. There's
Mhm.
good collaboration. Everybody's working for a common goal to get it done. It's not a me versus you mentality. And no matter how much money is in this business, this is a people business.
It really is.
All
All right,
right. We
Shay.
will see you guys next week. Judy, you are wonderful and you look fantastic. And I will see you soon.
Talk to you next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Deep Dive Dealcast. If you found value today, hit subscribe and share the episode with someone who's ready to think deeper about deals. We'll be back next week with another deep dive.